our phones in. Woo! All right. All right. Turn the volume up. I can hear it echoing.
There we go, I got it.
Test.
That was
All
me.
right. No, I can hear myself. All right. And a very good evening, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Bedminster Township Committee for May 1st, 2017. We have a quorum tonight without Mr. Olson. Ms. Sullivan, can I have the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Yes, sir. Adequate
Really
notice of this meeting in the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News in Somerville and to the Burnsville News in Burnsville, to all subscribers, and also posted here at the Municipal Building as of January 9th, 2017.
I'll ask you all to join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bless you. Thank you. All right. We have two sets of meeting minutes to review tonight, and that would be April 17th regular session and the April 17th executive session. Does anybody have any comments, questions, changes? If not, I'll take a motion for both.
Motion to approve both?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Permits and raffles. We have three tonight. A social affair permit for the Burnsville Library Foundation. That's June 4th, 2017, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the United States Equestrian Team Foundation. That's on Hamilton Farms. Raffle license for the Somerset Healthcare Foundation. That's September 12th, 2017, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Trump National Golf Club, an on-premise 50-50. And a raffle license for the Somerset Healthcare Foundation, September 12, 2017, 10 a.m. 7 p.m. Trump National Golf Club. That is an on-premise merchandise. Any comments or questions? If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll do that. Second?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Public comments. If there's anyone that has a public comment, that microphone and that podium there is at your disposal.
No comment.
Seeing none, thank you. We will move on to our monthly subcommittee chair reports, and we will start with Mr. Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended a Jacobus Vanderveer House meeting this month, or in April, and very positive developments on the fundraising prospects. I think, and we don't want to count our chickens before they're hatched, but things look very promising on that. Obviously, that is a key component to getting the barn up and running. So good positive vibes coming out of that board for sure. The Recreation Committee is having a joint meeting that I will not be attending to ensure that we don't run afoul of any rules. And I believe that's all I've got.
All right, thank you very much.
Doug, can you go online and actually donate toward Raise the Barn?
I believe you can, yes. Yes, there's a link on
our website.
Yes, you can.
All right. Mr. Jacobs?
Thank you, Mayor. Last week we had a meeting of the Environmental Commission, talked about some initiatives, and actually just brainstormed some concepts of what the EC could take on for this coming year. And we did discuss some issues that we wanted to raise with both the rec and open space at this week's joint meeting. And so hopefully within the next, I guess at the next meeting, we'll all have some initiatives to present. The other, this is, I guess, a subcommittee related to land use, is, Mayor, we did attend with Judy the meeting with Walter Lane from Somerset County Planning, looking at the priority growth investment area, focusing on the AT&T campus. The county and their consultants have developed, or more fully developed, some working ideas for that property and also for the Lamington 202-206 corridor as well. At the end of the meeting, they're going to refine their concepts a little further, and hopefully they'll be in a position to make a presentation to the Township Committee and perhaps the subcommittee on the master plan, and maybe also the land use board at the same time. So maybe we'll see that comes up probably in the next month or so.
All right,
And that's it.
very good. Ms. Santucci?
Thank you, Mayor. I attended the Historic Preservation Commission meeting last week, and just following up on some items that happened while I wasn't there. Actually, the Fresh Market came before the commission and asked for the outdoor seating plan to be approved at their level. They approved that as long as they took away the trees that were supposed to be planted and they substituted flowers. And the Affinity Federal Credit Union asked for a new sign on the side of the building, and the commission reviewed the plans and approved it at their level as well. And I know we have our joint meeting to Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mr. Christie will be there as well.
Yep, we have our open space chair in the audience. I have a couple things. Clarensdale Public Library Trustees meeting last week. One of the things that was discussed was potentially moving those trustee meetings to quarterly, but they still have bill list issues, so they're going to be look to get a legal opinion on that. Otherwise, the library is running just fine. Everything's going well. Board of Ed had 2 meetings over the past 2 weeks. I was only able to attend last week's, where they adopted the school budget for the year, and that's been a very difficult year for them. They went to 2% plus the bank cap of 1% in their health care allowance, and it's, like I said, it's been a very difficult year for the Board of Ed, but they've got themselves a budget, and I believe the other night they also voted to do an audit of the Somerset Hills School District to see if the tuition amount that is charged to Bedminster is completely appropriate. And I say good on them, because I know that had been done in years past, and it proved that maybe a few dollars came out of that. So I applaud the Board of Ed for doing just that. I missed a meeting last week, or the week prior actually. Somerset Hills School District was doing a strategic planning meeting, and they have 3 of those meetings. I got about 48 hours notice, and it was the same night as the work session for the Board of Ed budget, and so I will try to attend tomorrow night's meeting. But it was interesting they scheduled it for a night that nobody from Bedminster Board of Ed could attend either. So hopefully tomorrow we'll have a little bit more inclusive input. So I look forward to that tomorrow night. But that's about all I have for right now. Administrator's report, Ms. Sullivan.
A couple things. Myself, Debbie Stern, myself, and Trina Lindsay, our purchasing agent, met with Chief Tom Lynch from Far Hills Bedminster Fire to review kind of a follow-up on his 2016 capital ordinance for some refurbishment to one of their fire vehicles. So that has been completed, and he was presenting the final documents. As a result of that, he did not spend all the funds that were appropriated for them, and he has some leftover funds that he would like to use for some other things. He would also like to discuss 2017 appropriations. So we went over things, but I said we should probably have a follow-up with our subcommittee, Ms. Santucci and Mr. Olson. We have had some discussions to date so far. He's not in any hurry for anything. He just, I said before he comes to a meeting to make a presentation, he should probably meet with the subcommittee. So I don't know what availability he might have. He was hoping maybe for something next week, but
Fine, I can send you some dates and times.
if you want to give me maybe 2 dates, and maybe we can grab time, that would be great. Secondly, you see in front of you some electronic equipment set up. This is set up primarily for our shared court. Not necessarily all from the recent distracted driving grant that we received. It was throughout Somerset County to all the police departments, but it included Bernardsville, Peapack, Gladstone, and Bedminster. It was a very successful program, let's just say. And the last 2 court sessions have been very, very crowded. Parking as well. So last Tuesday we had overflow in this room with a police officer standing by. Our parking lots were full, and we had to move all employees and other vehicles to other locations in order to accommodate all cars. There were even cars parked on Miller Lane. It was crazy. So John and the chief and myself, we met with the judge to go over other plans. We can accommodate overflow in this room, which is what we plan to do. However, if they're in here, people attending court miss her opening statements when they are advised of their rights. So that's a requirement. Tomorrow, I was told there's at least 117 appearances. Texting and driving is a court appearance required. So that's why so many. So tomorrow we plan on having the overflow in this room, and we set up, the IT manager and John Mance today set up a video camera to do live stream of the judge. We will have a screen here, and she will be projected onto a screen so that everyone in the room will hear her opening comments right along with everybody else. After about an hour and a half or 2 hours, they start, because are processed and the attendance subsides and the scheduling moves ahead, and we don't have the problem anymore. But that first 2 hours is crucial. So we anticipate through the end, at least through the end of June, that this will be the case for our court sessions. We have another grant, I think, coming up too for Click It or Ticket coming the end of this month.
Correct, but that's not mandatory court appearance.
No mandatory court appearance.
Specific
So it's the
violation.
cell phone, and it's not just Bernardsville, Peapack, Leicester, and Bedminster, but state police as well. So it was a very successful program, let's just say. So that's what we've done to accommodate the overflow. We had to get special permission from Judge Ciccone and Judge Kelleher, but we did. So
I want to thank you and the judge and John and Vishant and the chief for coming up with a creative solution and doing it in such a rapid fashion.
well, the first suggestion was, well, why don't you just schedule a second or third court day until you get it done, which totally defeats cost-saving measures, because now you got to bring back the prosecutor, the public defender, and all the officers and everybody else on a second day. So this method accommodated what we needed to do, and other than the cost for an additional officer to be in here, that's the lesser way to go. So did I forget anything, John?
That covers it.
Okay. I don't know if we can get any share from the other towns regarding supplying an officer for these special events, but I know the chief was working on that.
All right.
That's all I have.
Very good. Discussion on introduced ordinances. We don't have any, but we do have a number of ordinances to introduce tonight. And that will start with ordinance 2017-007. It's an ordinance of the Township of Bedminster, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, to amend and supplement the land use regulations of the Township of Bedminster, specifically Chapter 13 entitled Land Management, as certain setbacks, floor area ratio requirements, residential and non-residential zones, and some requirements in the VN neighborhood zone. Purpose of this ordinance is to amend Chapter 13 Land Management, Township of Bedminster General Ordinances, to amend certain FAR requirements in residential zones and to amend sign requirements in the village neighborhood zone. Public hearing for this ordinance is scheduled for May the 15th, 7 p.m. in these chambers. And this should be familiar to some people, because this, in a certain form, was run last fall.
Right.
That we kind of ran out of time during the year. Any comments or questions? If not, I'll take a motion to introduce.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ordinance 2017-008, this is an ordinance amending Chapter 13 entitled Land Management, Township of Bedminster, Section 13-802-2, Site Plan Exemptions. The purpose of the ordinance is to amend Chapter 13 to allow certain site plan exemptions. Public hearing for this ordinance is scheduled for May 15th, 2017, 7 p.m. in these chambers. Ms. Jacobs, you had a little bit to do with this. Could you give a quick synopsis of what was the purpose behind this?
Thank you, Mayor. It really did derive from the earlier ordinance, which Committeeman Stevenson, when he was on the Land Use Board, actually chaired the subcommittee to come up with the, take a look at the applications and the viability or the, whether they're still relevant certain setbacks and FAR issues and sign requirements. And as that subcommittee came up and made the recommendations, which then became the basis of an ordinance, as Mayor said, we ran in 2016. Well, the next step, as a follow-up, was discussions that we had with both the planner and the land use board engineer, as well as land use board council, talking about, you know, which of these applications that we see before us are so routine and so minor that they are routinely granted, routinely approved, or in the alternative, an expensive process to hire attorneys and engineers and planners and come before for certain applications. So are there minor applications that never get through to us, and that what other applications are so routine that they are always granted? So essentially turned to Paul Ferrer, our township engineer, and our land use board engineer to come up with, you know, 6, 7 applications that he felt were de minimis and could be administratively reviewed and approved at the township engineer or the zoning official level. And that's the ordinance we have before us for introduction.
Any questions? I mean, we're going to have a public hearing, but...
Right.
Then I'll take a motion to introduce 2017-008.
So moved.
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Ordinance 2017-009. This is an ordinance authorizing the purchase of motor vehicles and heavy equipment for the Public Works Department. This ordinance will fund the purchase of motor vehicles and heavy equipment for the Public Works Department as a part of the regular vehicle replacement program at a total not to exceed $75,000. Public hearing on this ordinance is scheduled for May 15th, 2017, 7 p.m. in these chambers. John, do you have anything to add to this?
This is, as we talked about in years past, this is kind of like a fund that we set up so that when we do need to buy a piece of equipment, we can, but a little larger expense that year. So we're just trying to bank some money at this point in time.
Okay.
There's no-
You don't have an actual purchase?
Not an actual
Okay.
purchase at this point in time that I need. However, it does give me the ability throughout the year, if we do need to purchase something, that we have that the funding available.
All right. Any other questions or comments? If not, take a motion for 2017-009.
I'll make the motion to introduce.
Second.
Again, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Ordinance 2017-010, that's an ordinance authorizing the funding of the Capital Road Management Plan. This ordinance will fund the road management plan, including but not limited to the reconstruction, repair, mitigation of roads, drainage, stormwater systems on various roads in Bedminster Township in an amount not to exceed $200,000. Public hearing for this ordinance is scheduled May 15th, 2017, 7 p.m. in these chambers. And this, now that we have the budget adopted, we're seeing some of these things. We set aside money every year to supplement the grants that we try to get through the state, and this is just an ongoing effort to try to keep up with our roads. Any comments or questions? If not, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Ordinance 2017-011, it's an ordinance authorizing the engineering design for improvements to Meadow Road. This ordinance provides funding for the first phase engineering design for 2017 capital project for improvements to the Meadow Road, for which the township has received NJDOT fiscal year 2016 municipal aid grant to the tune of $223,500. Public hearing for this ordinance is scheduled May 15th, 2017, 7 p.m. in these chambers. Any comments or questions? If not, I'll take a motion.
If I could just comment,
Oh,
this is
please.
just for the engineering portion of the project to get things started, up to not to exceed 50,000. Then what we'll do, once that's all, the specifications are completed, we'll take the bids, and then once we know what the project really will be, then we will award the ordinance to fund that, whatever the price will be.
All right. Any comments? Take a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Again, in favor?
Aye. And finally, ordinance 2017-012. This is an ordinance authorizing the funding of the capital facility improvement plan. This ordinance will fund the facility improvement plan in Bedminster Township in an amount not to exceed $25,000. Public hearing for this ordinance is scheduled May 15th, 7 p.m. in these chambers. Any comments or questions? If not, take a motion.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Public hearing on ordinances, we have none tonight. Consent agenda, and we don't have anything there, but we do have one specific resolution, Resolution 2017-054, authorizing a professional service agreement with Jonathan E. Drill Esquire as special counsel. And would this have to do with the communication system?
Yes, so at our
Applications?
last meeting, we discussed a request for right-of-way, permission for right-of-way erection of some cell equipment. Attorney Drill worked for us last year with a special contract to handle this exact type of contract with Verizon Wireless. So we reached out to him again. This is one of the specialties. He provided a contract for us, and he said he's ready to jump on it if approved.
All right, and this is also not to exceed $1,500.
Right.
All right. Any other comments or questions? Take motion.
So move.
Second.
To be a roll call vote. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Ms. Santucci?
Aye.
Mayor Parker?
Aye.
Thank you.
Bill list. Can I get a motion to approve the bill list pending the approval of individual invoices?
So I'll make that motion.
Second.
Again, roll call vote. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Ms. Jacobs?
Aye.
Ms. Santucci?
Aye.
Mayor Parker?
Aye.
Thank you.
Discussion items. Are there any discussion items that are not already on the agenda that anybody want to bring up? Or new business? All right, then. Well,
Some headlines today.
okay, well, I was going to do that in the comments at the end, but we can talk about it. This is good. So, sure. The president is coming to Bedminster. Just in case anybody thought that wasn't going to happen, it is now official. We expect to see him sometime later in the week and over the weekend at the golf course. I know Chief Rock has been working diligently with the Secret Service and the state police and the county prosecutor's office. In fact, I've got a call from the county prosecutor just a few minutes ago. So yes, things are rolling. There's a lot of preparation. We're working hard. But on a different note, something that this governing body has been emphatic about, and we've talked about since November, was trying to make sure that Bedminster Township's taxpayers were not unduly burdened with the extra cost of supplemental security. And I talked to Congressman Lance's office earlier this afternoon, and you've heard some leaks in the press, and he didn't want to go official, but we're expecting good news in that later in the week on the heels of the continuing resolution that the Congress has for the supplemental funding of the government, that there is something in there that we would be able to apply for afterwards. So I want to, not signed into law yet, and that's why the congressman didn't want to announce it officially, but I would also want to thank Congressman Lance's office for the work they've done on our behalf, and the work from folks in this room to make sure that we were on it and we were specific and timely and our 2 cents in at the right time.
And Mayor, also thank you to you for your diligent follow-through and follow-up with Congressman Lance's office. Thank you.
I think our township residents are both, excited to have the president here. It's a historic event, so I know everybody's very excited, but at the same time, we see both sides and we need to do what we need to do as well. But they're very excited, as are we. So, a lot of preparation.
I think a great result. It's the right result, and if you don't ask for it, you don't get. So it was good that we were out in front of it, and good job for the constituents and our taxpayers. It was a win-win. Great job.
Also for the safety of the president as well. So a lot of the preparations are for safety of him and his family too.
That's right.
Thank you.
I'm not going to comment any further. I am out of comments on this issue in other venues. I know we're all
You're
excited.
used to being on.
I know,
this
but,
issue, so-
yes, I'm commented out, but I know, I, along with everyone else, are excited to see him come into Bedminster. We know, we appreciate, he loves Bedminster like we love Bedminster, but, we're looking forward to the visit. All right, that would be under new business. We have some items under old business. We have the Pony Farm. Is there anything new that we can discuss on that?
There's a proposed agreement, so I guess we have that on for our closed session.
Oh, that's right.
Executive session, so we can take a look at that, and hopefully we can move that forward after reviewing it with our council.
All right. Potential sale of municipal property. Ms. Sullivan, any news on that?
Yes, I have news. So, as directed, I sent letters to each of the contiguous property owners of the 130 Hillside Avenue properties. I asked them, please to get back to me by today. I heard from 3 of the 4. They are interested at varying levels. I won't go into some of their ideas. They have a number of different ideas of what should happen to the property. I suggested that we have a meeting maybe on a Thursday morning when both the engineer and zoning officer are here together. And then, maybe representative from Township Committee if possible. So we're looking at potentially Thursday the 11th to get together. Again, I would hope that at least one of you could also attend. So, and it's not to really negotiate at that point, it's just to talk about what some of their ideas are, what their wants might be, whether they're, what their interests are, just kind of answer questions and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Some of them, they don't even necessarily know each other, so
Right.
we give them an opportunity to talk.
Very good.
So if you could let me know if anybody's available for the 11th, we're thinking like around 10 o'clock when Paul Ferrer and Jeff Price are here.
Okay. All right, that brings us to our second bite at the apple for public comments. Any member of the public wishes to opine? The member of the public has declined, singular. So then I will move to Township Committee comments before we go into executive session. I'll start with Ms. Santucci this time.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no further comments this evening.
Mr. Jacobs?
Just 2 comments, Mayor. One, the Spring Fling held at Trump National last week on Friday was a terrific event, tremendous showing by Bedminster, by the school parents, and actually a lot of folks who no longer have kids in the school or never had kids in the school, but came out in support of the PTO. It raised a fair amount of money. The Stevensons came back with 15 baskets. So congratulations to the Stevensons on that. 15 baskets.
Yeah.
15 baskets, Doug.
I wasn't in the room when the numbers were picked. And neither was Susie.
And the only other comment I would make, Mayor, is, once again, thank you for being the voice and face of Bedminster on this onslaught of media inquiry about the township. And I think you've done a terrific job in being the face and making sure that everyone is level-headed and no one is overreacting about the impending events. And you've done a great job on that, so just thanks again.
Thank you. Mr. Stevenson?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to echo Larry's comments across the board. This past couple weeks have been a little interesting than the budget cycle, shall we say, and thank you for taking the lead on that. Spring Fling was a great event, thanks to Trump and the club there. Again, they did a phenomenal job for the school and for all of our Bedminster charities. It's very, very appreciated. And I think the folks that went there, like Larry was saying, there were folks there for the first time, and they loved it. It is a great event. And I just want to go on record and say that it was not a rigged poll. But we do support the PTO heavily during that event. That's one of our things. But we didn't plan to come on with that many presents. But
Was it really 15?
Yeah.
You gotta have a lot
It
of
was.
tickets, though, to do that. You've gotta donate
Yeah.
quite a bit,
gotta-
buy a lot of
You
tickets.
gotta be in it to win it.
To win it.
One.
You're not left with them.
I did feel a little sheepish walking out of there after my fourth pass back into the building to grab the stuff, but,
Should have go back and get a trailer for
oh
your
my
car.
goodness gracious.
You went right to the hospital and donated it all.
Well, that's a possibility. But it's a great event, it always is. It was a shame that the Jacobus Vanderveer Rock the Revolution was the same night. I don't have a report on that. I will next time, but hopefully they made out as well. It was a big night.
I heard that it was a big, I actually ran into somebody in Kings and they said it was a great night as well.
Super,
And I
that's
think
great.
they just have a little different audience. so
Different group,
it worked
yeah,
out-
right.
It worked out very well, so everybody seemed happy.
Just on that theme, I have to say that the Township of Bedminster and the residents, and they rally, and they get behind their causes, and it's a kudos to everybody out there that they know who we're talking to here, but they really, it's very impressive what the people do here and their level of commitment to the various things in town. It's a great place to be.
And I will echo, and I will also put a name out, Anna Spitaleri,
Oh,
the
tremendous.
president of the PTO, this year's president of the PTO. There's some esteemed past presidents of the PTO that we all know. But no, she and her group stepped up and put on a great program Friday night. I saw her just a few minutes ago at the honor roll ceremony that is going on well, it should be done by now, but just down the street, and a lot of the same faces at that as well, and yeah, everybody, it was just a resounding success.
Just to offset the 15 gift basket wins, Paul Spitaleri is the 3-time now putting champion, much to Mr. Payne's chagrin.
Yeah, no, Bernie was,
Not happy.
yeah. Well, but that takes a little skill, too.
Read your putts better.
That's right.
Well, and speaking of Bernie, Bernie was there not just as a participant in the closest to, well, I guess it was closest to the hole, right, for the putting, but he was also there with a stack of Buy Bedminster cards. Shop Bedminster. And Bernie was out there and promoting Shop Bedminster in a very vocal and what appeared to be a tremendous successful effort there, because he was stationed right in front of the gift basket room. So anyone walking by had to stop by and say hi to Bernie, as well as the Township Committee gift basket was prominently displayed next to Bernie as well. And I'm not sure how many sign-ups he got, but I know some folks were signing up right there on their phones, picking up a card, and Bernie instructed them how to sign up, and they were doing so. So hopefully we see more participation in Shop Bedminster, which means better business for our local establishments.
Ours was not one of the 15. I did not win our own basket.
But thank you again for putting the basket
Thank you for
together.
clarifying that, though. Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome.
I have nothing more. We do have an executive session. I don't believe there's any action to come out of executive session tonight, so there's no real reason to stick around. But can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, microphones are back live. Good evening. It is 8:41. We are out of executive session. There's nothing really action coming out of executive session. Does anyone have a comment before we go? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.